Yo, yo,
Yeah.
how you feeling?
I'm good, my dude. I see you playing that classic shit in the background.
Yes, sir. You know how we do.
Shout out my boy, Shannon the Cannon. What up, champ?
What up, champ?
What's up with it, champ? I see you, Brooklyn in the building. I see
Yes,
you,
sir.
champ. So let's get to it.
All right, history lesson,
And I'm and,
episode one. Go
and I'm
ahead.
and I'm driving because I just started a water company, so I got like 90 90 a lot of water, man.
No doubt. Multitasking. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about because you got a lot of good things going on today, but you got a lot of history that we have to acknowledge and give you your flowers while you still here.
Thank you.
No doubt. Can you take us back to where you were born and raised?
Well, I was born in Flatbush, Brooklyn, where all the yard men there. You know what I'm saying? So I was a yard man. Big up to my mother, Catherine. Big up to my father for giving me birth. Shout out to all my people in Chile on the check-in right now. Um, you know, I'm a Flatbush, Brooklyn kid. You know what I'm saying? I lived around the corner from Special Ed, who was one of my closest friends. Him Yachty. I hang out with a lot of Yachty kids. You know, my family is Yachty. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes is my first cousin. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, growing up in the Flatbush section of Brooklyn with my cousin and some of my close friends I went to school with, you know, I'm a Brooklynite. You already know.
No doubt. What was some of your earlier musical influences before Rampage you got into music himself?
Well, I got to give that to my dad because my dad is a guitarist. His name is Roger Wolfie Williams, and he played with a lot of bands back then in the 70s and the early 80s. And he was like him and my uncle played bass and my father played guitar. So back in the days, me and Bus would slide up under the basement door to hear them jam, and those are the times when my uncle had a Dr. Rhythm, and my father had a lot of influence on us growing up. But I learned a lot of musical things from my father because he's a funky guitarist. Roger Wolfie
No,
Williams, that's my dad.
no doubt. What was Rampage's earliest memory of seeing hip hop around the way in Brooklyn?
Well, my earliest couldn't be. It was in the. I want to say it was 82 or 80, and I was outside playing Skelly, and Busta Rhymes was on his step with his box, and the first thing I ever heard was, nope. The first thing I ever heard was Curtis blow the brakes at Busta House because he had it on vinyl. He had that, and he had Super Rhymes by Jimmy Spicer. He's also another Brooklynite from around the way as well. And then my first rap battle I ever heard was Busy B versus Kumo D, and I
Wow.
heard it in the '80s when Busta was on the steps of his house. He was on the steps, learning his mathematics, and he was playing that tape on a TDK tape on his box, and that was the first time I heard people battle in rap, and I knew from there that's what I wanted to do.
You say you heard that, and that's when you wanted. You knew that's when you wanted to do. When did Rampage first get into hip hop, and how? Breakdancing, DJing,
Well,
emceeing. How did Rampage?
actually, I was the only kid in my building that had two turntables in the mixer. I had one, you know, Miss Catherine, my mother. She always was behind me when it came to musical things. So, you know, I had a cousin from Brownsville, Brooklyn. His name is DJ Playwright, DJ Wonder, and he always used to DJs at all my aunt's parties out there in Howard Avenue in Brooklyn. So I used to go there with my mother, and she would just leave me. He's like one of my favorite cousins of all times. You know what I mean? I mean, this kid had everything from Atari 2600, from the original ColecoVision This kid Anthony had everything. He also had two. He also had two Gemini's turntables and the Gemini mixer. Also, he was the first person that ever took me to Beach Street because I didn't know what Beach Street Record was in Brooklyn at the time, and it's been open for years. He used to take me to the Wiz. He used to take me to all these. We was just to walk on Howard Avenue, and it's crazy how I'm walking on Howard Avenue, and I wasn't Rampage then. I used to see Buffy from Fat Boys.
Right.
He used to be walking down up on. I think it wasn't even Rutland Road, man. It was just somewhere up there in Brooklyn where we was walking to go get some records, and I used to see Buffy a lot. You know what I'm saying? So in the Brownsville section area, you know what I mean? So, you know, back and forth with that, watching my cousin DJ Playwright DJ, that kind of influenced me even more. And I thought I wanted to be a DJ then. And at the time, I was called Roger D. That was my name. It wasn't Rampage. So that was one of my nicknames that I was going by. And I was hanging out with my cousin Wonder, and I was hanging out with Busta Rhymes, Trevor Ski. You know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with him. So both of my two first cousins, those two and my dad, that's what really put the backpack in me. But I started off as a DJ.
At what point did you transition into an MC, and were you solo or were you in a group early on?
Nah, I was on the block. I'm gonna just keep this real. So I'm on the block watching all the hustlers. You know, everybody got their dogs. They in the park drinking 40, shooting dice. I'm on my BMX bike. My mother calls me in at 7 or 8 o'clock, but no, I want to stay out on the corner, listening to the hip hop, watching them roll dice, learning something. My pops wasn't really home. He was gigging, and I just wanted to be down. So, you know, it was a couple of older cats in my neighborhood, you know, may they rest in peace. But, you know, that was some of the stuff that really influenced me to really take that step. But what really caught me to really get into what I needed to get into, I seen Special Ed with this green and black jacket, and I thought it was a Tommy Hilfiger jacket, but it was a profile jacket. And at the time, I didn't know what that was. And then those are the times that Special Ed used to run around Flatbush, Brooklyn, calling me Roger Rabbit, because again, you know, we all got the same mutual friends from the block. I lived on the block that everybody went to school at. So again, you know, I had like one of the popular houses at the time that everybody was just always at my house. My house always has something going on. Music, we battling, we going against each other. I'm battling Special Ed, he battling me. It was just a lot of stuff, and that's how I really got good, you know, battling Special Ed.
Right. Can you take us back to some of the dues Rampage had to pay to get his name out there early on?
Say it again?
Some of the dues you had to pay out there to get your name known?
That to get my name known?
Yeah, what kind of dues did you pay? Maybe earlier shows?
Well. I was one of them kids. I went to the Livers' Lounges. I was also good friends with the late great Guru. You know what I'm saying, from Gangsta. I used to see him all the time. He always showed me mad love. So R.I.P. to Guru. You know, I used to be on the train with the Most Defs and the Talib Kweli, the Bush Babies. We all going to the Livers' Lounge. We are all from Flatbush, Brooklyn. We meet up on the train. We go to the Livers' Lounge. I'm watching, you know, watching the KRS's and the Slick Rick, and I'm also friends with Slick Rick as well. He's also his dad is like my mailman around my way. So I always used to see Rick, and I knew Rick since I was 17. So you know, just seeing all these guys, and I had another cousin named Rob, who took me to a producer named Fresh Gordon. That's when I started seeing the production side of production, beats being made, when I was with him and he was making a demo, and he introduced me to this guy in Bed-Stuy named Fresh Gordon. But I didn't know Fresh Gordon was the one playing. When I walked in his room, in his bedroom, he had a gold 45 of salt and pepper, and it was for that Push It. I didn't know Gordon was the one that was playing. I believe he was the one that was playing the keyboards on the record. Him and Herbie Lovebug was pretty tight at the same time. But my older cousin, he was one of those people that was like, he was ones that was showing me how to break down bars, because I didn't know what that was. I kept rhyming and rhyming and rhyming and rhyming, but he taught me how to break down bars.
Gotcha. Earlier on, like you said, your blood cousins, Busta Rhymes, were you around during the earlier sessions for their Leaders of the New School first album?
I was a little bit. I was in and out, you know, when they was having sessions and they was creating their album. Not the very first album though.
Okay.
More to the second one.
Okay.
And when they was in studio sessions doing things like soundtracks and stuff, yeah, I was on the road with Leaders of the New School. I was like a roadie for them on the road, just learning the game. You know what I'm saying? First tour I've been on was Public Enemy, Ice Cube, Leaders of the New School, dude named Stinky Dink from the DC area. You know, that's the first time I've been on the road. Like, you know, my cousin, man, he always put me in the right place at the right time. All I did was listen and follow, you know?
Right. So around this time, is Rampage getting into making demos? And what labels did you maybe shop earlier on before landing at Rowdy Records?
So me and Busta would go up, to, I think we went up to Polydor. We went to Atlantic. We went to Jive, like with demos, you know what I'm saying? Those are the times I saw DOS Effects. They were shopping their demos too. I used to see a lot of them dudes at the record label, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I found out DOS, I believe they was at Jive, and then they went over to Atlantic and they got a deal over at Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? So big up to them. I was in that wave. And then Busta called me one day, was like, yo, I got a production deal, yo. You ready? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? This is around 99, the end of 91 going on to 92. You know what I mean? So it was something like that.
How did you end up over at Dallas Austin's Rowdy Records, and what was the deal for over there?
What you mean, what was the deal for?
Was it a multi-album deal? I know you recorded a single over there. What was
I believe it was for a couple of albums. Big up to Dallas Austin too. I believe it was for a couple of albums. If I could remember, but I got over there because Busta and Dallas Austin is tight, and Dallas Austin, you know, him and Busta has a relationship that's beyond the world. So again, at that time, Dallas Austin is putting out them hits. So anything Dallas Austin say, it was official. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Busta got an opportunity. He called me, was like, yo, you want to rock? I'm like, hell yeah. I ain't even asked no questions. I'm like, pew, I'm gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So ever since then, I've just been rocking.
When you dropped Beware of the Ramp Sack, what kind of reaction did you get from the general public?
Well, you know, it was like mixed feelings, but that was an underground joint. So big up to Rashad Smith. You know, that was an underground joint. That was my first joint, man. And you know, I think I probably moved about 60,000 units, I believe, something like that to that effect. But you know, that was just my first one. You know, that's me getting my toes wet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the record, so you know, I just went with it. Plus, at that time, I was finishing up my album as well, which is I never released. You know what I mean? Because again, due to whatever the business was, we switched labels, and you know, sometimes when you fall, you got to get back up. You know what I'm saying? So again, big up to Dallas Austin for definitely giving me, and Busta Rhymes for giving me an opportunity. Definitely.
Was that the Red Oktober album?
Yeah, that was the album I was supposed to put out.
Okay, and what you say?
In some way, it got leaked on the internet.
Gotcha.
So
what eventually happened to Rowdy Records, and where did Rampage find itself during this time?
Oh, well, you know, Rowdy is still around, I believe. Big up to my dude, Izzy Ice. He was over there, too, at Rowdy. Big up
the
to
King
him.
and I.
King and I. You know what I'm saying? Big up to him. So after that, I get a call again. Busta calls me on the phone. It's like, yo, I got a surprise for you. I was like, what? He's like, yo, I'm gonna call you back. Called me back. Had Craig Mack on the phone. Yo, Page. Man, sex is crazy, my dude. Yo, I need you to jump on this record. I was like, for real? I thought they was bullshitting for real though. But now, when Bus call you, he don't be bullshitting at all. And every time he tell me something, it's always 1 billion. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
he was like, yo, they want you to get up. Huh?
Before we get into that story, didn't you appear on the Lon's second album, 13 Spontaneous MCs?
So yeah. So, but you know, it was getting good. You know, we was gonna go into it. So,
right.
You know, I'm a part of the New School Society. R.I.P. to my brother Shamello, who just passed away. You know, leaders of the New School, Cracker Jacks, Rumpletilskins, myself. You know, running with my brothers on the road, with leaders of the New School from Brooklyn to Long Island, big up to the whole Hempstead. You know what I'm saying? Learning a lot from them dudes, but I still was young. And then one day I get a call, another call. Everybody come to the studio. We doing this record called Spontaneous. And then you know, I'm like, okay, let's get it. So shout out to my cousins at the X Squad DJs. I see y'all. Then next you know, we go in the studio and I go, extra, extra. Read it, look what it's all about. I'm the last Boy Scout. I turn it out anytime that I can. My master plan is to do what's grand. I'm a rugged nigga, a real rugged nigga. So, you know, hey, yo, with them dudes, you had to come prepared because the whole New School Society, yo, we was doing mass shows, man, like for real, like all over the place. The Bank, this club called the Bank in the City back in the days, we was killing that shit, man. Like New School Society was on the come up, for real.
What was that session like with 13 MCs?
Oh man, a lot of trom set in the air, man. A lot of trom set in the air. That was some of my influences.
Right. So I cut you off when it was getting good. You were talking about Busta saying he had a surprise for you. Can you go back to that story?
So, you know, he said he had a surprise for me. He calls me back. He had Craig Mack on the line. Mack was like, yo, I fucks with you, yo, man. Yo, come jump on this record. Gave me an opportunity to jump on Flavor in Your Air. It didn't really hit me until I got to the session. So when I got to the session, you know, Bus went in the corner, scripting up his shit. You know how he do. He always cooking that shit up. And I was listening to the song. I heard LL's verse. I heard Biggie's verse. Then I heard Mac's verse. Then I sat for a minute and I was like, and then I think Mo B was in the studio, Easy Mo B, and they was playing it. And then Puffy walks in and says to me, yo, I know you got something for this. I'm like, give me a minute. So I had 15, 20 minutes to figure out what I was going to do and what I was going to say. And then I came in like 2194, man, motherfucking hardcore. It's my time to burn, to explore. The flavor in your ear is the Boy Scout that make outs. I make other rappers have doubts. You fucking with the wrong clan and the wrong man. That's it. Now you got to get your dome split. I go into my knapsack with my gat, take off my hat. Yes, I'm just cool like that. The dangerous, the ruggedness from the Flatbush abyss. BLS 97 kids bounce to this. I'm going to live long in this rap game. Niggas know my name, Yo Puffy.
Burn them in the flame.
And that was it.
Woo!
So after I left that session, I get another call. Bus said, yo, we about to go do the video. I'm like, yo, for real? Yeah, brother. This thing is out of here. That's why I remember him telling me this. So we go to the video shoot. I'm busting it up with Big. I'm busting it up with L. Bus moving around. I'm busting it up with everybody on the video, but I was busting it up with L and Biggie enough at the video shoot. And I was always close to Biggie. You know what I'm saying? He was one of my good friends. I can't even front. Like that was That was my guy. Like, I know people say they know Big, but that was my homeboy. Like, for real. Like, I could be 1,000 dudes in the crowd if Big see me. Ramp, what up, Ramp? I got a tape of him on the mic, and he seen me in the crowd. The first thing he was like, "Yo, what up, Ramp?" You know what I'm saying? So, big up to R.I.P. B.I.G. man. Seriously. So, we all at the video shoot, mad shorties, everybody, Mac, busting it up with Mac and busting it up with Big. Everybody did their parts. So I'm like, damn, when I'm gonna go? Puff was like, no, sir. I'm gonna keep you here last. Me and you need to vibe. So me, him, and Hype Williams, you know, because again, I'm the rookie. You know what I'm saying? So again, you know, when you see my video, that's me and Puff talking to me while I'm doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And big up to my dude Puff. You know what I'm saying? Because you definitely, I didn't have to be on the record. You know what I'm saying? But again, fortunately, my cousin put me in such a situation. You know, I had to go in there and blow the fucking spot. Because sometimes when I didn't believe in myself, my cousin believed in me more. So big up to him. Seriously.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
And you know, sometimes